Now, there is a piece where I wanted to talk to you both about, and that is fundamentally robotics and AI. That's the space which I will touch upon and work. We are continuously working and hearing AI in the whole country, globally, AI. This, you have to understand what is the true definition. Robotics always existed. I remember a time, 2011, when I was in a shop floor in northeast of England, in the automobile giant Nissan, and when that was getting rolled out, we were the first arms to actually build that robotic engine assembly arm of theirs. And to come fast forward back to 2017, the definition of robotics has changed. FarmBot has come in, who are trying to solve the ecosystem of how harvesting happens. People like Miko are trying to give assistance to the kids. So the definition of robotics is also becoming a little gray. It has a lot of intelligence built in. But AI and robotics have to be differentiated. In the startup community, what I see here and what I see across in the West, there is an ambiguity which remains. Is AI part of robotics or robotics part of AI? I think the question is answered by itself. They cannot survive without each other. Any model of neural networks which we program into the brain part of any robot, or the basis of a simple decision tree model to working in a neural model, which is the base of AI, has to work, and that robotics can't work. So there is a clear definition. I wanted to call it out because my observations in the last 17-18 years is pretty clear that AI and robotics are matched and can live separate. So that's one part the team wanted me to talk and clear the definition of. There are, if you see the good stories of what a successful business have been, they were all startups, they moved into an SME space, and then they became a proper, profitable organization. The mind space of being a cool in startup, and especially in high tech, is very strong in the country right now. There is a reason why high tech and startup are associated, because it's easy. Creating technology is easy. Creating innovation is the hard part. Now, if I create a high tech product, do I become a startup or do I just solve a problem? Now, high tech always have had leapfrogs across the globe, in North America, in Western Europe, and right now we are seeing that growth in India. High tech is not going anywhere, but are we creating business models on technology products and platforms, going from robotics across artificial intelligence to the fundamentals of retail, e-commerce, across the board? Are we creating value? So the answer is, it cannot just be high tech. Technology, digital businesses can not only be the definition of startups. It has to be, the definition of startups has to be fundamental businesses. I was part of architecting that for the last 2.5 years. That's a startup as well. It's an infused startup. TataCLiQ is a startup as well. It's an infused startup, but so is Flipkart today, also being talked about a tech business, which is a startup. Now the definition of startup is moving forward, is broken down. I think the clarity is there in business, in SMEs and MSMEs, but in the startup ecosystem, we are yet to find the definition and what we call a successful business model. So there are 3 things which I always advise to my peers in the industry, to my youngsters who are working in the industry. You can create disruption like we have done for Jio, we are doing for TataCLiQ. You can create disruption only if you see there is a vision backed by a successful business model and fundamentally co-creation of wealth, not self-creation of wealth. You cannot think that wealth will be created by investors for you or revenue. You will have to co-create wealth with the ecosystem. If you do not think of co-creation of wealth, it will never exist. Apple created co-creation of wealth. Facebook thrives on co-creation of wealth with multiple, not consumers, but partners. So high-tech business in the form of robotics, AI, is yet to reach where India requires to be. We are far away from what we are seeing right now. If you say India can crack artificial intelligence, I will say we are getting there. We will get there soon. If you say India has got a thriving robotics ecosystem, I said no. We do not have a thriving robotics ecosystem because India is not warm to still a hardware selling mechanics. We are very warm to a bot mechanics which we can afford. But as soon as you put a hardware in their hands, they take a step back. No, let's be real to ourselves. Let's be honest to ourselves. What requires to happen is the next generation from the age of 2, 5 and 6, they require that. The farmers require high-tech artificial intelligence and robotics. The arm insan down the road to solve traffic problems require that. We are not there. IoT is never going to solve everything based on sensors. So the takeaway from today would be we would only work on creating business model from high-tech models and high-tech products in itself.